So just for fun, and this is the second time we're going to talk about this, we hit a milestone on the show, and we were trying to figure out if it's a big milestone or a small milestone, but it's fun either way, so we're going to talk about it for today's Not So Critical update. This came up because we recently hit 100 subscribers for our little podcast here, and we are super grateful to all of you people. We're having a lot of fun doing it. But I had this question of like, so is 100 like a good start? Does that put us like, where does that put us in terms of like the overall hierarchy of YouTube channels? Like, obviously there's sites with tens of millions of subscribers, but there's a lot of sites with like no subscribers channels. So if we have 100 subscribers, where do we think that puts us in the grand scheme of channels?
So here's the interesting thing. Earlier, Mike, by the way, Mike left in a lot of in one of the articles, one of the episodes recently, where I completely fucked up and muted everything else. And we had a couple of minutes where I was just like going, what? Like a complete idiot. Mike earlier stopped recording so that I could tell a naughty story. And then forgot for like the fifth time to turn recording back on it. Is it on now, Mike, by the way?
It is. And
it is. Did you just double check yourself just to make sure?
Of course I did. I checked nonstop. That's how I noticed it before, because I stopped it for you to tell your story. And I said, remind me to turn this back on. And all of us forgot. That's how I don't take responsibility.
Story is now. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to join the Discord channel. So
is 100 subscribers a meaningful number or not?
Right. What I wanted to say was we talked about this earlier when Mike forgot the bloody recording.
We talked about it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm still as unclear now as when Mike will now describe what he found out.
Oh, well, so we started with the question of like, so of YouTubers.
He asked what in what top percentile do we fall into?
Where do we think that puts us in the hierarchy?
I don't remember what Peter guessed.
I didn't. I said I have no idea.
You don't know.
Yeah. And I still don't know. That's my point.
But I will say that I think reaching 100 subscribers organically from zero is very impressive. Like,
you know what? It's not a milestone. It's a smilestone.
God, fuck.
That's getting edited out.
Now I really wish Mike would have hit record. I wouldn't have to fucking live through this goddamn nightmare
again. Although Peter's kind of right.
I am totally right. That's how it works.
Oh, anyway,
because we have our little celebration in Discord and everything.
Woohoo!
The animated GIFs and the screenshots.
I threw emojis. Peter got mad. Speaking of which,
we
have a Discord server.
We do have a Discord server.
If you want to watch Peter get mad at me for writing random emojis, why don't you hop on in? We'll probably be putting
millennial, honestly,
right under
I know.
Here, the description of the video.
Yeah.
Feel free to join, have a banter.
So we've got
there quietly.
So tell us, Mike, what the point of this episode is. What did you find out about which percentile we're in?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's tough to find out, right? So there were two variables. One is how many channels are there, and the other is then, based on that, how many have more than 100 users, which is what we have. I think 107 as we stand here today. Hopefully it'll be more by the time this episode airs, but it'll probably be close to that. So I looked at, of course, Google, who directed me to Quora, and Quora's had this exact question. What percentage of YouTube channels have over 100 subscribers? First answer is premium. I don't know what that means. But the first thing I saw is that there are 2 billion users on YouTube that technically speaking have channels, even if they don't upload to them. And so having 100 or more subscribers would put us in the top 1% of YouTubers, which is awesome. Somebody else went even further and said that puts us just under 0.3%. The top 0.3% of YouTubers is where we are with our little channel right now. But then I scrolled a little bit further and found out this guy that said 99.999999% of channels get to 100 subs. That's totally easy. It's not until you get to 1,000 subs that it's anything. So that was more discouraging.
Yeah, but then I reminded John, I think John was trying to talk at the time, and that 73.6, this is a fact, by the way, 73.6% of all statistics are made up on the spot, which I think is quite, pertinent to this discussion.
And the more specific a statistic is, the more true it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So on top of that, I believe it is actually 73.363.
Very specific.
Yes. No, I think you're right. Yeah. According to the latest study.
Well, the problem with this number is he was maybe too specific. If he said like 97%, like, okay, that could have been, but like 99.99999%.
I don't know if I believe that 99.9999999% of channels have 100 subscribers.
Totally agree. So here's what I've kind of come up with, and then I looked at us on Social Blade, where we are unranked. But you can see, we've uploaded 165 videos. We've got 109. It went up since I swear to God, when we started, it said 107. So whatever, cool. Here's what I put together. There appear to be somewhere between 40 and 50 million active YouTube channels. We are unranked on Social Blade, but I looked at channels of a similar size that it said they were in like the 29 million range. So that puts us at around 60%. We're in the top 40% of YouTube channels.
Amazing. What I got out of this is there are a lot of YouTube channels who have some or more or less subscribers, and we're in a certain percentage of that top.
You're on
percentile.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I think we can definitively say. Yeah.
And we think that I think that it's somewhere around 40%, which I don't know.
40%.
That feels good. I like it.
40%.
I think,
take it.
Just keep going.
It's fun to talk about the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Has the show been a success for the year, more or less, that we've been doing it?
Yeah. I don't care. I don't give a shit personally.
Well, that's exactly it, right? What
nobody
is
watched
success?
It.
Yeah,
that's my point.
See, I would have said yes. I think it is
success. I agreed. I also think so, because our viewers, small, totally fine. They enjoy it. They wouldn't keep watching it if they didn't. I love it. You guys clearly love it.
Yeah.
And it is something super fun to do, especially because the topic is actually kind of disconnected from a lot of different types of podcasts. Where if you go and watch another technology podcast or security podcast or privacy podcast, that shit is going to be a fucking drag.
Oh my God. So boring.
It will be something you put on to fall asleep to. But like we have a lot of fun with it.
And we have people who watch and engage with the show. We've got Mark, Liam, James,
I'm Pythos,
Sandeep,
Philip,
Dad,
a bunch of people, Jordan,
Leon,
who engage. So we opened up we have a Discord server that we all talk to each other on. We actually opened that up. I think John's mentioned it a couple of times. We'll put the link to that. So come join with us. It's a lot of fun. We really appreciate the subscribers that we have. And it's fun, even if it's not a huge number. But someday we will be. My prediction for 2022 was that we would have 2,500 subscribers by the end of the year. And I still think that's true.
10,000. That's way off. Look, here's as someone who's been through this once 25 years ago, when I put my list out on the internet, I didn't have anybody use it. And I had a very vague idea about how popular it was. But it just kept at it. And it was something I did for fun. And because I thought, a few people liked it. Now it's used by 50 million people worldwide. So I still don't fucking get paid for it. But, at some point, we are not the next YouTube superstars or the next, but we're like the YouTube, let's say, a few generations down the line of YouTube superstars. How old are you now, Mike? Was it 60?
I'm sure I can last a few generations. Yeah, something like that.
Well,
sure.
I think in terms of we will, no matter what, we'll grow together as a big family.
Oh boy,
Holy shit!
that's
getting deep.
What?
Mr.
I like
Hallmark
it,
card
actually.
over there.
Yeah, thanks, John.
It's going to be, you know, we've been doing it now for so long, it feels. Even though it's actually not been that long, but it does feel like it. I think we're gonna be, you know, we're gonna keep doing it. It's fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. We said from the very beginning that we basically just do the show for ourselves. And if anybody else enjoys it, then great. And it's super cool that people do.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And all the feedback we get. Yeah.
I do want to
Really
also
appreciate
say, received feedback from one of our super fans that the dancing robot bit at the end is exactly the right length to be able on Xbox to go up and click the like button for a video before the next video starts playing. And I'm not sure I believe that. So I want everybody to test that theory that it's exactly the right amount of time it takes to go up and click the like button. In fact, if you're on a PC, I probably would suggest, just for the sake of having a broad enough sample to look at, click the button and we'll just see what happens. We'll keep doing it. This is fun.
Before we sign off quickly, I just want to say that one of the other things I value about this show is that we don't use the usual tricks, the cheap tricks of, sneaking in requests to subscribe and like and stuff like that. We're just straight up, which I really value. So,
and on the topic, before we end the show, on the topic of like and subscribing, I think it's very important to thank all the people that have liked and subscribed.
Yeah,
and all
we
the
like
future
them.
people who will like and subscribe. Maybe even you now.
The likers and the subscribers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And come join our Discord channel.
Yeah.
Server channel. Something. I don't know.
Server.
I'm too old to understand this stuff.
Server. Discord server. You got it.
We'll PDF you. It's okay.